Hi friends, I'm Kim with Cosmic Studio. Today I want to make a nightlight using some resin and a UV lamp and some pigments and some, I meant to buy sand but I bought rocks. So that's, we're using what we have. That's just how we're going to do it. So I say let's get started, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is dye some UV resin in kind of a blue color, and I'm hoping that I can do it in like a light-ish blue color. I don't know, I think this is going to be really neat. I've seen somebody do it. I would love to give her credit, but I cannot remember who it was. But this came out so pretty. So pretty. So I have a little bit of resin in this cup right here, and I am going to add a little bit of blue. Anyway, I'm going to just start kind of drizzling over here. And, ooh, that's rocky. Just hold that up with my hand. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. And I did put a little bit of washi tape around the base of it. I'm not going to worry a ton about the resin at the top, but this is why I have the tape on my pad, on my little clear pad, because if the resin runs off, and it could, that would be a little bit of a bummer. I am going to mix up some white resin, and I'm going to leave it mixed because I think I'm going to use it more than once. And I do want to make quite a lot of, I want it to look like we're really getting some waves there. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I also think I'm going to take off my glove and sprinkle some rocks down along here. And like I said, they're kind of bigger than we wanted, a little bit bigger than we wanted, but it's okay. We are going to go with what we've got here. I'm just going to move them down. I don't want them up that high, really. This is one of those craggy beaches that you can look at, but you don't really want to walk on. You know what I mean? Like you're going to walk on it, but you're going to wear shoes. So this beach right here, we are wearing shoes. What kind are you wearing? I will probably wear sandals, like flip-flops. I think I could walk okay in flip-flops on this kind of a beachy situation here. I am going to do one coat of resin to set the rocks, and then I'm probably going to do another coat over the rocks. But the rocks are important. They play a part in this. I have 2 containers of this white, I think it's called an alcohol ink. One of them doesn't work and the other one does, so I guess we will find out. Okay, that's the one that doesn't work. You know I'm going to have to try and figure out a way to get this alcohol ink out of there, right? Alright, let's shake it up. They come very funny looking like that, so you really want to make sure you get them pretty well shaken up. Okay. And we're going to make this pretty white. Hopefully that doesn't affect its ability to cure. It shouldn't, but it could. You never know. You know, you just never know. Anyway, we're mixing this up off camera here. Well, now we're on camera, but we were off camera. Okay. That's pretty milky looking, wouldn't you say? Sorry about that. Hopefully my phone doesn't ring this afternoon or this evening. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and pour it like kind of like this. And I'm going to move it off to the side. I want to put that on the other side of my curing lamp, because what I don't want it to do is cure my little containers of stuff here that I'm working with. Alright, let's try it. That rock went right there with it, didn't it? Guess it was a windy day. A little too windy. Let's see if we can blow it back a little. Alright, I'm not real sure, so we're going to go ahead and cure it for a couple of minutes. Everything else is just literally going to be me adding colors and stacking colors, mainly because I don't really have any two-sided stickers that I think would go well on that. So what I'm kind of interested in doing is maybe darkening up my blue over here and adding some glitter, making it look a little shimmery here and there. Which actually, I should probably, of course I don't want to mix it up where the light can get to it, but mix up a little bit of resin with some gold glitter in it, just to give like a little bit of a shimmer across the rocks, but not too much. Remember, if you use glitter, you want to be kind of mindful of how much you are using, just simply because of the fact that glitter will cause shadowing, and then you can't see your pretty design as well. So a scant amount of glitter goes a long, long way. So I only did this for 2 minutes. I think it's going to be okay. And like I said, we're going to be mixing up a little bit of clear to go over the top of the rocks. Ooh, I'm not mad. The thing is, when you start blowing resin around with the straw, you're just going to get some stuff. I don't know that I want any more white though. I do have a lot of white. I don't know that I want more. So we're going to just squeeze a little bit of resin. We don't need a lot. I always think that I need more than I actually need. So that's kind of my bad. Alright. I'm going to put a little bit of glitter in. It's got very fine glitter, but it's also got like these big chunky pieces in there that I don't really necessarily want a ton of, but yeah, it is what it is, right? Okay. This is all for the intention of teaching you what you can do, and then I make the mistakes so you don't have to. You're welcome. And now we're going to stir this up. The fact that this is a beachy scene, I don't mind if there are bubbles, because there are definitely bubbles in the ocean. So that's not going to be a problem for me at all. Okay, so we're going to just go over the top of the rocks. Okay. And I do want to draw this back a little bit. That's kind of the bummer here. It's trying to keep this stuff from going over there. But, you know. Okay, we're going to stick it back in. Cure it for another couple of minutes. So I'm going to come pick you back up in just a minute. Okay, we've got that back out of the resin, and I'm going to mix up some more blue. This time a little darker. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to deepen the blue each time that I pour more resin in here. I kind of wanted to do some clouds up there. I just don't know that I have the space to do it, really. But we're gonna... Okay. I would like to try to follow this line right here. So maybe what I should do is try and just dab a little right there. Okay. I really like that blue. That's really pretty. Alright, we are going to go ahead and pop this back under the lamp, and we will be right back again. Okay, I don't think that you should let the purple behind... It looks purple, that's why I'm saying purple. I don't think you should let that deceive you, because I think if we put... It still looks purple. I did not add purple to that, which is interesting, because I did add purple to this batch right here. So let's just see what we get here. Get my little tool out to help me stay on track here. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Well, we'll have to just see how it cures, because the one before this looks very purple. It had no purple in it. And now this one has purple in it, and it looks very, very blue, which is very interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. I do want to just wipe this little, I don't know if you can see it, but I got just a little bit of blue up there, and I don't really want it up there. We're going to pop this back in for 2 minutes. So now I have some blue and some gray mixed up, and I still have my white over here. I know I said I thought I was done using white, but I might not have been. We're going to see what happens here, because I kind of wanted to make it look like it's fading into the sky. Be careful, because I just don't want it doing funny things like running off. And when you add the alcohol inks, it does kind of change your consistency a little bit. I'm going to be so confused if this kind of turns out purple, because it's I don't know. We'll plug it in and we'll see what happens after we plug it in. I do have a dark room. I think I could plug it in. So here we go here. I think it's going to be really pretty. I don't really think I'm going to need this anymore. So I might try to cure it in the dish back here. You know, if you cure that, what it'll do is it'll just kind of harden up in that dish, and it'll be okay. Shall we put little puffs of cloud? How can we do this so that we get little puffs of clouds? Let's simply try this. Drop, drop. Clouds are just fun and entertaining anyway, so I am going to have to see if I can get that off the back of there, because that is not what I wanted. And I think the reason this stuff is reacting so strangely, it looks like there's a hair in there. I think actually what happened is the light kind of hit it and it thought it might start to cure. Let's you know, make it look like it's... Clouds are a little wispy. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to put this in here too. But I really need to get the back of that thing. I need to actually take these off of here. Take this off of here and maybe even hold this here. And what I don't want is it getting onto my board. Okay, well, things have happened. We have a little bit of a debacle here. So I'm going to do that. We've got a little bit of a resinish mess. So let's get that under the light real quick before anything else goes seriously south with this project. And let's hope nothing else does, because I'm really interested to see where this is going to go. If it's going to go anywhere. It may go nowhere. I don't know. That does not take long at all for resin to start hardening, because I'm in here trying to wisp the clouds a little bit more. They're not wisping. You have to be so careful with resin. Here I am being a ding-a-ling and forgetting that I've got stuff all over the place, and I tilted it and it just kind of went off the side. So, now, what I do wish, and I think it would have been really pretty, if I had some seashells, bigger seashells, some pearls. There's a lot of things you can do with this, but what I do know is that the more you cover up with stickers and rocks and shells and mermaids and stuff like that, the more you kind of cover up where the light's going to come through. And so I wanted to be a little mindful of that. And what I might do is go back over with some glitter in the more open area there. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to stick that there. I don't think I need white anymore. Man. Okay. I just scoot that off to the side. And I believe... Okay. So, I think I want to just mix up a little bit of clear and just kind of put like a little bit of... I'm not sure if I want to use the light glitter or if I want to use the darker glitter. I'm kind of thinking the light glitter. If there was a way I could pull out all these chunks, I would. I don't think they harmed it down here, but I don't think that they would add anything up there. So that's the only reason I'm a little leery of what I kind of want to do. Alright, we're going to turn that off for a minute. Sorry about the lighting. Okay. I guess we want resin first, yeah? We'll put a little bit. We don't need a lot. Alright, I think that's enough. I don't want to completely annihilate my glitter, my resin with glitter, because I don't think it's going to add anything. But I do want to take it into some of these areas here, because I do think that that will be kind of a nice thing to add. I think it'll be pretty. We'll find out when we find out though, right? Try not to do any boneheaded moves here, but I am going to put just right here, just don't go off the side. Don't go off the side. We don't need that in our lives. I realize there's glitter up in them bar clouds. Could probably move it down a little bit. I think that's good. I think when you try and mess with it too much, that's when you start spilling resin and go every which way but loose. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pop this back in for the final 2 minutes, and then we're going to do the reveal by plugging it in. Okay, here is our final result. We can zoom in a little. I think it's pretty, but I do think that we could have gone darker with some colors here and there. But it is really pretty. It's very pretty. It's subtle, but it still gives off plenty of light. And I actually need a better picture because this is not picking up the low light of this outlet that it's in. Well, thank you so much for joining me today for today's tutorial on how to make a night light. I will put what I bought in the description below. I did get it on Amazon. There might be taller ones. This one is, oh gosh, I don't have, oh, you know what? I can measure it pretty easily right here. It is just under 3 inches. So this square is under 3 inches. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like this sort of content. And please subscribe to my channel. At 100 subscribers, I plan to do a giveaway, so that'll be fun. I appreciate you joining me for this video. I will see you in the next video, and don't forget to release your inner artisan. Bye.